In the next few minutes, I'll talk to you about something I'm deeply passionate about: countries. To me, countries are beautiful and meaningful, as each one has its own unique flag, delicious food, and beautiful landscapes, which everybody takes pride in the nation of. But what happens if that country is under threat? My name is Linus Mehedi-Raynor, and today I'll be talking about the main challenges that countries are facing at the moment, why everybody should be able to understand them and be able to address them to other people. My dad holds a special place in my heart, but also does my mother. But what makes my dad special is he comes from Bangladesh. Bangladesh is known for its film and clothing industry. The film industry being Dollywood, one of the largest in the world, and Bangladesh being a big clothing supplier for brands such as H&M, Zara, Primark and Nike. If you don't know Bangladesh on the geographical side, it's a country in South Asia that borders India and Myanmar, Burma. Bangladesh is known as the land of the rivers, as it has 700 of them running through the nation. Ironically, these rivers put Bangladesh at threat, as experts predict by 2050, 70% of coastal farmland will be gone due to erosion from climate change. There are many different dictionary definitions of climate change in this world, but the simplest one, made by me, is changes in the Earth's weather pattern, as the polar caps, but a noticeable element about all the other dictionary definitions is increase in temperature, as the polar caps are melting every second as we speak. 7,560 billion tonnes in mass was lost between 1992 and 2022. Many countries are at risk of being deleted from maps due to climate change, and I'll explain some of them for you today. The first one is Vanuatu. Vanuatu is a country in Oceania that according to the UN, is most vulnerable to natural disaster. On the 13th of March 2015, there was a cyclone called Cyclone Pam. This cyclone destroyed 90% of the capital, Port Vila. Has the country recovered, may you ask? Well, it kind of has, but there's ways it could improve, such as building back some major roads and key tourist attractions. Now, where my dad's from, Bangladesh lost 125,000 hectares in land in the last 5 decades. In that time, we have been to space, and memes have become a major part of our lives. That's a lot of land. That's a lot of land in my opinion. But the people's opinion, represented by Suchi Chandra Saha, says it is erosion destroying their lives and livelihoods. When a country is gone, it would be a devastating loss of life and livelihood. Whilst this does not happen overnight, not that many people have the resources to move to a safer climate. Moreover, when a country ceases to exist, a person could feel like they no longer belong anywhere, as their country's currency is no longer accepted anywhere else in the world. If they owned a business, their business would be gone, having to start from scratch again in another country, losing everything they had earned. In simple terms, a person can lose their possessions, home, and national identity. It's a heartbreaking reality for many who have to go through this, and we need to act now to protect the future of our countries. There are many people who have shown climate change's issues before, and I'll explain some of them for you today. An example of that is Sir David Attenborough, and what he did to show this problem is by making an amazing documentary. Another person, John Paul Jose, what he did to show this problem was by addressing people about India's forests. But the most amazing way I've seen it shown is by the President of the Maldives, Mohammed Nasheed. What he did to show this problem was by holding an underwater cabinet meeting to show that 40% of his people are at risk of rising sea levels from climate change. What do all these people have in common, may you ask? It's not their job, nationality, or favourite food. is that they're all working together on the same problem. Even though these people come from different places and backgrounds, they all try to fix together the same issue. Their efforts show that even small differences that these people can make will be a big impact on this issue, especially when many people choose to ignore this. Climate change is coming quickly, and not that many people realise that. And by 2100, which is only 75 years away, major parts of the UK will be at risk of flooding. North West England, including Blackpool, Liverpool and Manchester, could face issues like flooding and extreme weather. Yes, more extreme than now. South East England, including Brighton, Southampton and Portsmouth, could face issues like that. South Wales, with Swansea and Newport, could also face issues. In total, that is 9 major UK cities that each have their own unique things that are at risk of being lost due to climate change. Climate change has already hit the UK in some parts. For example, the Holderness Coast at Skipsea. Skipsea is a rural village and has some landmarks like Skipsea Castle, which was a Norman castle back in the day. At Skipsea, there used to be a road that used to go far out to the cliff. But now as the cliff has eroded in, the road has had to come in as well. Homes in the Holderness Coast are at risk as well, as homes used to be far away from the cliff. But now, the cliff is invading people's back gardens. If we talk about money in this situation, a caravan park called Skipsea Sands Holiday Park is at risk too, as it used to be far away from the cliff, but as the cliff is eroded in, it's come so close to the caravan park that if it comes even more closer, they'd have to remove caravans. Removing these buildings/caravan would result in tourism revenue dropping and homes for tourists being lost. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have stated the issues on rising sea levels and climate change. Countries such as the UK are at risk of climate change if we don't act to change the pattern of this. My name is Linus Mehedi-Raynor. Thank you for listening.